Okay, so we can start. So we can proceed now with my discussion about our next topic. So this is the previous slide I have presented. So we proceed now with. So by the way, this is the activity I have provided last time. Okay, so 2 weeks naman yung aking deadline dito. So tignan nyo na lang sa Google Classroom. Okay. So this is now our discussion about Gauss-Jordan elimination. So in this topic, no, we're going to deal with the solution of linear equation, system of linear equations, no, using Gauss-Jordan elimination. So before I have taught you about Gauss Gaussian elimination, no. Now this time we will talk about Gauss-Jordan elimination. So this is the system of linear equations, and we will transform it to a matrix equation. Okay, and in that matrix equation, we have the matrix A will be converted to matrix I, no? Where matrix I is an identity matrix, no? And then X is the column vector for the variables. Then B becomes J. So these are column vector for the constants, no? B1, B2, and so forth and so on, no? Okay, so we can proceed. So this is the equation. So I is an identity matrix. So as you notice here, no? So we have 1, 1, 1, 1. And then above the major diagonal and below it, they are all 0. So this is an identity matrix. So then we have the column vector, no? The column vector x and the column vector j, no? So column vector x and column vector j. So in this case, this is the process, no? On the procedure in performing Gauss-Jordan elimination. So matrix A will be converted to an identity matrix and will give us this result, no? And then upon multiplying matrix I to X, since this is an identity matrix, no? So by matrix multiplication, so we will obtain this uh, new matrix, no? This is the simplified form of Ix. Ix, when multiplied, corresponds to X alone, no? Because I is an identity matrix. So as you notice, the identity matrix when multiplied by the column vector x becomes column vector x, no? So nawala yung ating I, no? And then meron tayo ditong J1, J2. So ito yung mga new values, no? So ng mga constants na B1, B2. Pero meron dyan na hindi magbabago. So yung iba, posible na hindi magbago, the case-to-case basis, no? Okay, let us proceed with an example to this. Okay, so here's the example. Find the solution of the given system of linear algebraic equations, no? So this is the equation, and we are to apply Gauss-Jordan elimination, no? So this is the first procedure. We will let x equals to x sub 1, y equals to x sub 2, z is equals to x sub 3. This will now be the new form of the system, no? In terms of x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub 3. And then we will transform the system in terms of the matrix equation, Ax equals b. And we will write the augmented matrix. No? The augmented matrix is this one. So we have A, so we have 1, coefficient of x1, negative zero point 0.7, coefficient of x2, 0, coefficient of x3, then we have the constant negative 4. Okay? Same as the second row and the third row. No? So you know that, right? So I have already introduced uh, augmented matrix, no, last meeting. No? So we have here the procedure on how to transform matrix A in terms of an identity matrix. So this should be converted to an identity matrix. Okay? So in converting this to an identity matrix, we are to transform negative zero point 0.7, all the elements below and major diagonal. Below the major diagonal and above it, no? Below and above the major diagonal should all be converted to 0. So in here we don't have any more problem because this is already 0 and also this. However, we need to work out, no, the remaining 4. No? So we have to transform them to 0. So to do that, so this is the process. Excuse me. So we have uh, excuse me. Row 2, we have, so we are to first to since our goal is to convert negative zero point 0.7 to equal to 0, no? We are to convert it to 0, I mean, no? So this will now be our reference element, no? Excuse me. So we have this our reference element. So this is A to 1. Okay? So second row, first column. Okay? And this will be our reference row. Or should I say it's not the reference row? This is now this is not the reference row. Now this is the reference row. I mean row 1. Because this is 1, okay? So na nasabi ko yata ito yung reference natin, no? Uh, reference natin to sa pag-convert ng 0 but not actually yung aking tinutukoy talaga na reference. So ito yung tinutukoy talaga. So this is A11, okay? So this is the reference element, okay? So ito ko-convert ng 0, right? Ko-convert yan ng 0 later. So therefore, since i-convert to ng 0, okay, nasa row 2 siya, okay, nasa row 2, okay, so we have row 2, okay, so i-multiply natin ng A11, yung reference element natin, okay, pag sinabi nating reference element, ito yung mga elements na nasa major diagonal, no? Ito yung major diagonal natin. Since ang ating concern ay palitan ng 0 itong negative zero point 0.7, ang gagamitin nating reference element ay yung nasa itaas niya. Okay? Which is A sub 1, 1. Okay? So in that case, this is R2. So so kung saan yung element napapalitan natin ng 0, kung saang row, no, nakalocate yung papalitan natin ng 0 na negative zero point 0.7. So row 2 multiplied by A11, our reference element, okay, minus, okay, R1, our reference row, kung saan yung ating reference element, yun din ang ating reference row, then multiply natin ng A sub 21. Okay? So, ito yung papalitan natin ng 0, yung A sub 21. Okay? Papalitan natin yan ng 0, kaya i-multiply natin siya ng A sub 21, yung row 1 na ating reference. Okay? Likewise, in case na ito ay hindi zero or kahit zero pa yan, okay? Ito naman yung procedure. So, papalitan natin ito ng zero, halimbawa hindi zero, no? So, paano natin papalitan ng zero, halimbawa hindi yan zero? So, ito yung ating reference, should I say. Since papalitan pa natin ito ng zero, dapat alamin natin anong row siya. So, row 3. Kaya merong row 3 doon. I-multiply natin ng A11, okay, our reference element, okay, minus R1, our reference row. Multiply natin ng A31, okay. A31 ay yung gagawin natin 0 in case na hindi yan 0. Okay? So, ganun yung gagawin natin. Okay? So, ganun yung procedure. So, similar lang siya sa Gaussian elimination, right? So, and then, ito yung magiging result. So, check natin kung tama, no? Okay? Meron tayo ditong R2. So, consider natin yung first element. Ito. First na new. Okay? First element, do sa row 2, negative 0.7. Okay? Negative 0.7. And then, times A11 is 1. Minus R1, first element, is 1. So, then multiply natin ng A21. Okay, that's negative 0.7, A21. Okay? So, anong sagot niyan? Negative 0.7 minus plus 0.7. So, 0. So, nakuha yung R2 new na first element. Ito yung R2 new first element na 0. So, sabihin niyan, 0 na yan. Okay? So, na-convert na natin ng 0 yung negative 0.7, right? Yun talaga yung objective natin. Kaya lang, maapektuhan yung ibang elements na nandun sa row na yon. So, alamin natin yung mga value, palitan natin ng second. Okay? Palitan natin to ng second. Okay? So, kung papalitan natin yan ng second, okay, we have R2 second element, we have 1, okay, multiplied by A11, which is 1, minus R1 second element, no, R1 second element, negative 0.7, multiply it by A21, ito, negative 0.7, A21. Okay? So, 1 minus 0.49 ba? So, what is that? 0.51. Okay? So, nakuha yan, 0.51. Okay? Next, we proceed, no? So, we have naman we consider the third. Okay. The third element. So, R2, third element, negative 0.7. A11 is 1. Minus R1, third element, 0. Multiply mo ng A21, negative 0.7. Na. So, we have negative 0.7. Okay. So, we have that. And then, let me consider the fourth element. Okay. So the fourth element, so what's the fourth element? The fourth element in row 2, we have 34 multiplied by A11, that is 1, minus R1, fourth element, negative 4, no? Multiplied by A21, negative zero point 0.7. Okay? So negative zero point 0.7. And then, what will be our answer? 34 plus, ano to? Minus pala. 34 minus 0.28 ba to? 4 times 0.7, 2.8. Okay? Minus 2.8. That is 31.2. Okay? 31.2. Okay? So, nakuha yan. 31.2. So, that's it, no? And then, dahil 0 na to, kahit gawin ko pa to, mag-arrive pa rin ako ng mga same element. 0, 0, no? Yung R3 old, siya rin yung R3 nyo. Lahat ng elements sa row 3 na old, siya rin yung mga elements sa row 3 na nyo. Okay? So we have 0, 0, so negative 0.7, negative 0.7, 1, 1, and negative 44, negative 40. Okay? Pag 0 na yan, kahit gawin mo pa yan, pareho pa rin. Okay? So we proceed. Alright, so in this time, we are to consider, no, the second element in the major diagonal. Ito. Kasi tapos na tayo sa first element sa major diagonal. Lahat na sa mga ilalim niya ay 0. No? So yung 0.51 na ngayon, yung taas baba niya dapat pa-convert ng 0. No? Yung sa second element, so dapat ito ma-convert ng 0. Tsaka yun. Okay? So to do that, gagawin nating reference row yung row 2. No? So this is our reference row now because itong 0.51 nakalocate sa row 2. No? Itong second element sa major diagonal. So this is our reference. So ito rin yung ating reference element. No? A22. Our reference element. With me. So we have R1. Okay. So meron tayo ditong R1. So paano natin gagawin? So ang gagawin mo, no? Ito yung ating concern ngayon. So palitan natin. So ito yung ating concern. Gagawin natin itong 0. Unang tanong, saan nakalocate? Row 1. Anong yung multiply ko? Sa row 1. Yung reference element. Yung reference element ay A22. Anong i-minus ko? Ang i-minus ko ay yung product ng reference row at saka nung element na gagawin kong 0. So, ano yung element na gagawin kong 0? Ito. A12. Okay? Row 1, second column. A12. So, tapos, magkakaroon ka ng R1 new. So, yung mga elements dun sa row 1 na bago. No? So, ito yon. So, R1 times A22 minus R2 times A12. So, ito siya. No? Ito. Okay? So, similarly, no? So, gagawin din nating zero ito. First question. Saang row nakalocate yung negative 0.7 na to? Row 3. No? Nasa row 3. Anong i-multiply ko sa row 3? Reference element, A22. Anong ma-minus ko? Ma-minus ko yung row na kung saan nakalocate yung A22. Yun yung R2. Na i-multiply ko sa element na gagawin kong 0. Ito, negative 0.7. No? Which is A23. A23, A32. Okay. A32. So, A32. Ayun. Tapos, magkakaroon ka ng mga bagong elements dun sa row 3. Okay? So, ito siya. R3 times A22, ayun, minus R2 times A32. Okay? Ayan. So, tapos pagka ginawa mo na yan, ito yung resulta. Okay? Check natin. Okay? So, ang ating reference element ay ito yung ating reference element, A22. Tapos ito yung ating reference row. Okay? So, we have let's do this. Yung consider muna natin yung first. Okay? So, pag ginawa natin yon, so we start with row 1 first element. Row 1 first element. 1 multiplied by A22, 0.51 minus R2. R2 is R2 first element. Ito, 0. Ito yung R2 first element. No? 0 times A12. Ito yung A12. No? Ito yung gagawin nating 0. Diba? A12. So, we have negative 0.7. Okay? So, kaya mapapansin mo, 0.51 yan. So, kaya nakuha yan, 0.51. Okay? Okay, so, we proceed. Sa pangalawa, consider naman natin yung pangalawa. So, yung pangalawa, R1 second element. R1 second element is negative 0.7 multiplied by A22, 0.51 minus R2 second element, 0.51 multiplied by A12, negative 0.7. Okay? Ayun. So, anong sagot? So, ang sagot niyan ay 0. Kaya nakuha yung 0. Then, third. No? So, third. So, third naman is ito, negative 0.7 times negative 0.7. Tama ba? Sorry. R1 third. Sorry. R1 third. R1 third, 0, no? 0 times 822.51, okay, minus negative zero point 0.7, row 2, third element, negative zero point 0.7, multiply mo ng A12, negative zero point 0.7. Makukuha mo ay negative 0.49, no? Negative 0.49, nakuha yan. Okay? And then, we proceed. After that, we consider the fourth element. Okay. R1 fourth element, we have negative 4. No? Negative 4 multiplied by 822, that is 0.51. Minus R2 fourth element, 31.2. Multiplied by A12, negative 0.7. Okay. So, resulta niya? Ang resulta niyan ay 19.8. No? Check natin kung 19.8 using a calculator. So, check lang natin. So, using my calculator, negative 4 times 0.51 minus 31.2 times negative 0.7. 23, ano nangyari? 4 times 0.51, negative 4. Negative 4 times 0.51. So, I'm using my calculator actually. So, 19.8 tama. Okay, nakuha ko 19.8. So, yun, 19.8. Okay? So, yun. No? And then, R3 naman tayo. No? Consider naman natin yung R3. So, kung ko-consider mo yung R3, erase ko muna lahat. So, R3 naman ko-consider natin. So, dito yung gagawin nating 0. Okay? So, and then, ating reference, A22. So, ito yung ating reference row. Okay? So, we have R3. R3 first element. So, consider muna natin yung first. Okay? So, R3 first element, 0 times 0.51 A22 minus R2 first element, 0. R1, 0. R3 first element, 0 times A22 0.51 minus R2 first element, 0 multiplied by A32. This is A32. Okay? So, we have negative 0.7 will arrive with 0. Diba? So, kaya nakuha yan, 0. And then, meron din tayo dito. Consider naman natin yung second element. Considering the second element. Ayan. Considering the second element, anong makukuha natin? So second element, negative 0.7 multiplied by 0.51 minus R2 second element 0.51 multiplied by 832 negative 0.7. So ang sagot natin ay 0. Kaya nakuha yun. And then we have the third. Okay. So we have R3 third element is 1 multiplied by 0.51 822 minus negative 0.7. Di ko na titignan yung nakasulat dito. Kasi mayroon naman siyang pattern eh. 1 times 0.51 minus negative 0.7 multiplied by negative 0.7. Ito, yung 832. Negative 0.7. So, anong sagot natin? Kung gamitin ko yung calculator. 0.02. Ayun, nakuha siya, 0.02. Okay? So, nakuha yan. Alright, and then, after that, we have considering the, okay na to, okay na yun, okay na to. Fourth element naman. Fourth element. Again, ito yung reference, no? Tapos ito yung reference. Okay? So, meron tayo dito. So, meron tayo dito R3, fourth element, negative 44 multiplied by 0.51. Okay, minus 31.2. Hindi ko natitignan yung nakasulat dito kasi meron ako nakitang pattern, di ba? So, self-discovery yan times negative 0.7. Okay? Para mabilis. Ayan. So, we have, so gamitin yung calculator ko. Negative 44 times 0.51 minus 31.2 times negative 0.7. Negative 0.6. Nakuha ko negative 0.6. So, tama, negative 0.6. Okay? Which is the same as this. There. Kompleto na. Next step, ang goal naman natin next is to convert ito using the third element in the major diagonal. Kasi sa second element, above it and below it, 0 na. Dito sa ating third element in the major diagonal, dapat lahat ng nasa taas ay 0. No? Lahat ng nasa taas niya ay 0. So, this will be converted to 0 and this. Okay? So, therefore, there will be a change of elements in row 1. Change of elements, no? In row 2. Okay? No change of elements in row 3 kasi ito yung reference natin. Okay? So, in that case, ang mangyayari niyan ay so, ito yung concern muna natin. Nasa row 1. Ano mo multiply natin? Reference element 833 Anong ma-minus natin? Reference row. Yung reference row, R3. Kung nasan yung reference element. No? Anong multiply sa row 3? Yung element na gagawin mong 0, that is A13. No? There. Para makuha natin yung R1 nyo. Okay? So, ito siya. R1 times A33. Ito, minus R3 times A13. Similarly, para sa row 2, sa row 2 naman, kung halimbawa ay ito yung gagawin natin 0. So, row 2 yan. Ano mo multiply sa row 2? Reference row. Anong ima-minus? Anong multiply sa row 2? Reference element, A33. Then, anong ima-minus? Reference row, R3. Then, anong multiply sa R3? The element that you will convert to 0. That is A23. Okay? And you will have the new elements, R2. There. Let's check. R2 times A33 minus R3 times A23. Okay? And then we have, no? Ayun. Pag ginawa mo yan, nating lalabas. Okay? So, check natin. Hindi ko natitignan yung ito. Meron ako na kasi nakitang pattern, no? Para mabilis. Okay? Pero yun pa rin. Okay? Pero yun pa rin ang lalabas. So, we have, so ano mo, isulat mo, i-note muna natin yung nating reference element, A33. Reference element, A33. Then, reference row. Okay? So, our concern is to convert negative 0.49 to 0, right? So, ito yung A13. So, let's now start. So, ang gagawin natin, okay, we start with, so ito munang R1. So, ang gagawin natin, 0.51. Kasi nasa row 1. Multiply mo ng, ito, 0.02. Minus negative 0.49, no? Sorry sa aking background noise, no? And it's beyond my control, okay? So, negative 0.49, okay? Then, multiplied by 0, no? Tama ba? Check natin. 0.51, R1, first element. Okay, 0.51 times A33. A33 is 0.02 minus R3, first element. Ayun, sorry. 0 yon, 0. R3, first element is 0. Okay, multiplied by A13, negative 0.49. Pero pareho pa rin ang lalabas. Napagbaligtad ko lang. And then, anong sagot? So, 0.51 times 0.02. 0.51 times 0.02 times 0.02, 0.0102. So, nakuha yan, 0.0102, no? And then, we have, so we can proceed, no? O, ito naman. So, next, considering the second naman, the second element, second naman tayo. So, 0, second na yan, 0, multiplied by 0.02, okay, minus negative 0.49, okay, multiplied by 0, no? Or should I say 0 times 0.02 minus negative 0.49 times 0. Ayan. Okay? Tama ba? R1 first, second element, 0 times A33. Ito, minus R3 second element. R3 second element, 0. Ayun na yun. Times negative 0.49. Pareho pa rin. Okay? Nauna lang pagkakasulat. So, 0, 0, negative 0.49. Negative 0.49. So, ang lalabas ay 0. No? Ayun, 0 yung lalabas. Sorry sa background noise, ha? Okay. It's beyond my control. Okay. So, we can now proceed, no? We have here, we have 0. Sorry. Third naman, no? Third element ang consider natin, no? Third element. Okay, third element. Third element. So we have excuse lang, wait lang. Okay, so we proceed. So R3 third element. R1 third element, we have negative 0.49. Okay. So multiply natin ng 833.02 minus R3 third element. Okay. Negative point R3 third element 0.02. Ito, 0.02. A13 negative 0.49. And what shall we get? We will get 0. Okay? There. Then last, para sa row 1. Okay? Para sa row 1, we have, okay, considering the fourth element. So we have R1 fourth element, 19.8 times R1 fourth times 19.8 times 833.02 minus R3. R3 is fourth element, negative 0.6. Okay. Negative 0.6 multiplied by A13. So, ito yung A13 natin. Okay. A13. Negative 0.49. So, check natin using calculator, no? So, tingnan natin yung sagot using calculator. We have 19.8 multiplied by 0.02 minus 0.6, okay, times 0.49. Okay, 0.102. Okay, so we get it. So we can proceed. So and then ito naman yung babaguhin natin dito naman. So tapos na tayo doon. Ito naman ang ating concentration, yung row 2 na yan. Okay, so we have the first element, no? Consider din natin yung first element. So ito yung ating reference pa rin. Reference row. Okay, R3. Reference element, I mean. A33 reference. Okay, and then we have our row 3 reference. So in that case, we need to convert this to 0. This is A23. Okay, so ang procedure, we need to multiply. So we proceed with the first element in row 2, 0, multiplied by 0.02, okay, minus 0, diba? Or ano to, R3 first element, 0, multiplied by negative 0.7, okay? So ang sagot ay 0, okay? Kaya nakuha itong sagot na to, 0. And then, ay hindi pala yan, sorry. Ito yan. Kasi R2 first, di ba? R2 first nyo, ito, 0. And then, we have second naman. Okay. The second element, second element. Okay. R2 second element is R2 second element is 0.51. Multiply natin yan ng 0.02, 833. Ima-minus natin yan ng negative ng 0 na imumultiply natin ng 823. Negative 0.7. So, we will get 0.51 times 0.02. So, 0.51 times 0.02, we get 0.0102. Ayun, nakuha yun, 0.0102. Okay? And then, 0.0102, okay na yun. We proceed with the third. No? The third. So, the third is, R2 third is 0.02. Multiply mo ng 833. Sorry. R2 third is negative 0.7. R2 third element. Negative 0.7 multiplied by 833.02. Okay. Minus R3 third element is 0.02 multiplied by 823, negative 0.7. So, anong sagot? 0. No? Ayan. Diba? 0. Nakuha yan, 0. Okay. So, anong kasunod? Fourth element, yung last. Okay. So, considering the fourth element. So, considering the fourth element, we have, so, start tayo sa row 2, fourth element, 31.2. 31.2, multiply natin ng 833.02. Ima-minus natin yung negative 0.6 na i-multiply sa negative 0.7. Ayan. Okay. Saan na makukuha natin? So, makukuha natin ay, tingnan natin. Calculator, we have 31.2 times 0.02. Okay. 0.204. Ayun. So, nakuha yun. 0.204. Okay, nakuha to. Okay, so okay na tayo. Tapos, yung row 3, hindi magbabago dahil nandito, reference row natin yan hindi magbabago. So, copy lang. 0, 0, 0.02, negative 0.6. Okay? So, yun. And then, so, ito na yon. So, ang gagawin ngayon natin, ang procedure, we divide. We divide all elements in row 1 by A11. Likewise, we divide all elements in row 2 by A22. Then, in row 3, we divide all elements by A33. Yun ang procedure. Para maging identity matrix yung A. Okay? So, ito yung lalabas. Okay? So, start here, R1, first element, 0.0102, divided by A11, no? R1 first. Ano yung R1 first? 0.0102. Ano yung A11? Ito yun, A11. Okay, 0.0102. So, 1. So, kaya nakuha yun. R1 second. Ano yung R1 second natin? R1 second, ito. 0. So, 0 over A11 is 0.0102. So, that is 0, no? And then, we have R1 third elements. So, we have 0 then. 0 pa rin, ayun. R1 fourth. Okay, R1 fourth element. We have ito, 0.102. So, pag dinivide mo yan, ay makukuha mo ay 10. Okay? Nakuha yung 10. Ganun lang, kasimple. Or, ang shortcut niyan, no, uh, di ba, pag 0 na yan, automatic, pag dinivide mo ng any number na hindi naman 0, 0 ang sagot. Di ba? So, 0 over any number that is not 0 is 0. So, in that case, we have, consider natin yung R2. R2, okay, 0 over A22 is 0, kaya nakuha yun. 0.0102 divided by A22, yung 0.0102 pa rin, 1. And then, 0 over A22 is 0, kaya yun. 0.204 divided by 0.1, ito, A22, 0.0102. So, kaya nakuha yung 20. Okay? Likewise, yung R3, ito, 0.02 over 0.02, kaya nakuha yung 1. Negative 0.6 over 0.02, no? Negative 0.6 over 0.02 is nakuha yung negative 30. Okay? So, then we have x of 1 is 10. Okay? So, dahil ay, ano na yan identity matrix na no? So, identity matrix na yan. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. When multiplied by x1, x2, x3, okay, equal yan sa 10, 20, negative 30. Ayan. 10, 20, negative 30. Ix equals j yan. Ix equals j. Yan na yung Ix equals j. Note that Ix equals x. Kasi identity matrix na. Simply x na lang yan. So, kapag ka nangyari yan, okay, wag mo lang isulat yan. Ito na lang diretso. x1, x2, x3. Ito yun Ito, ganito yung matrix equation yan. Okay? x1, x2, x3 equals 10, 20, negative 30. Okay? That's why we have, okay, that's why we have now x1 equals 10. Ayun. Okay? x2 equals 20. So, ang x1 equals 10, ix equals to 10 sa problem kasi xyz tayo, no? Then, x2 is 20. Ayun. Then, x of 3 is negative 30. So, yung x of 2 natin ay y. Okay? Tapos, yung x of 3 natin na negative 30 ay z. Ayan. So, that's the answer. Okay? So, I hope you understand. So, and this is the laboratory activity that you will do, no? So, 2-week deadline, no? Deadline ito in 2 weeks. So, I'll upload it at Google Classroom. Okay? So, if you have questions, so, ano na lang natin? So, GC natin, okay? So, yun lang. So, that's all for today. Okay?